knowing the elites, knowing the people who are in power and have, a lot of freedom to do basically whatever the hell they want, aka AOC, who attended the Met Gala, while attacking the rich and trying to tax the rich, even though a ticket to that event is $30,000 and then a table is over $250,000. I don't know. I don't even believe that it was really a requirement.
Yeah, and it's like, wow, I don't know. It's just, she doesn't make a very good point. I think she should have shown up in an ill-fitting TJ Maxx dress. She should have, this dress was borrowed. It was from this designer when, the white gown that she showed up in, strapless. It said tax the rich on the back. And it's like, really? That was borrowed? Because that looks like that was custom fit to your stupid little body.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And then, she had her designer there that custom made that dress for her. And, oh my gosh, don't get me started on AOC and all these hypocritical politicians. It disgusts me.
You mean to tell me that the people, because she was wearing at least $450 earrings, and I'm sure I just remember that
her shoes were $600.
Yeah.
I'm like, ma'am, it's my dream to own $600 shoes. I don't yet because I'm actually a middle class American, but please keep telling me about how we need to tax the rich, aka you.
And she makes, her salary is within the top 10% of earners, and you're telling me really the people who lent her jewelry, how can we prove that they were oh no, keep it? Because it's all of the politics in Hollywood have meshed together so perfectly that I'm sure any of these designers associated with outfitting her would have been oh no, keep this, you know what I mean? Put it on your Insta, just, you'll wear them to future things. And they would do anything to be associated with her. They are all just sucking up to each other.
Exactly. That's what it is. It's all for show. Everything in society is all for show. And I don't know. I get so tired of it. I get so tired of these politicians pretending that they care about the little man when in reality, if AOC really cared about taxing the rich, she would have been out protesting with her fellow American on the streets of, Washington, D.C. or New York, wherever the hell she wants to be. But no, she was at the Met Gala rubbing noses with the elites to allegedly, rub it in the faces of the rich that she wants to tax them more. But what are you really doing? What she said, it sparked a conversation.
Yeah, right.
What are we really doing with this girl?
It sparked a conversation. I was in the bathroom. I needed a tampon, and it sparked a conversation of who had one.
Am I right?
Be no, this really doesn't say tax the rich. My period came early. Sorry, guys. Oh, that's gross. Yeah. It sparked a conversation in my ass. And that people are kind of looking at her and going, ooh, awkward. We are all the rich. Everyone there is rich.
She was probably in the back, not you, Kim, not you. You're cool, Kim.
And the rich is already heavily taxed.
Oh, yeah.
They're raising the rates in New York. I think New York income tax for the rich is now up to 61. It sounded crazy. I think it's 61%. It
wouldn't be surprising to me. I think I was looking up the statistic yesterday, and the overall 1% pay 40% in taxes across America, not even in regards to these specific states. But it's so funny, too, because many conservatives like to go out on the streets of America and ask people, hey, how much do you think the top 1% pay? And they're 2% of taxes, 3%. And it's no, they're paying upwards of 40, 60%. And people are oh, that's quite a bit.
And it's basically our culture, our society is trying to de-incentivize people to be entrepreneurial. I mean, successful people who make a lot of money, I think, are not going to be oh, let me make less money. They're probably just where can I move to somewhere with less income tax? I have a few rich friends. I mean, oh, not that close. I mean, they could help a sister out. No, I'm kidding. I'm not a moocher, but
fly me to your private island.
Yeah, they've moved to Pence. You meet people and friends and fans over the years. One guy, he was out kind of in upstate New York, moved to Pennsylvania. Anthony Cumia, who is head of Compound Media, he's moving to South Carolina. So people are just kind of up and moving. It makes me really sad for what's happening to New York, and I can't move out right now because of family and work stuff. But so, and it's oh, am I just conveniently being I'm fighting and staying, when it's if I'm being perfectly honest, part of me really would love to move here to Texas, but it's I
Chrissie,
can't right now.
Honestly, that's the standpoint that I've taken with my political views is get out of the States, that you can't change. Like, there are blue states like California. I mean, look what just happened with the recall election, like New York, where it's never going to change. They're so overrun with liberals. So go to a state where your vote actually matters, where your voice actually matters, and your quality of life is going to go up exponentially, like Texas, Florida, Tennessee. Go to these specific states. And that's the point that I've gotten to. And dude, when I tell you the amount of rage that I feel in my body and soul, just seeing liberals at the state capitol in Austin, Texas, coming over here and even trying to advocate for abortion or, push back against constitutional carry or bring in these liberal policies. I'm like, get the fuck out of Texas. You don't belong here. And if you're a liberal, get out. And that's the point that I've gotten to. Chrissy, politics has made me so hardened in my heart. Like, I'm a Christian woman, but I do not appreciate liberals coming to my damn state and trying to ruin it and make it look like California, because that's what Austin's starting to look like. It looks ugly over there. I watched that once beautiful city because when I first moved there, again, it was clean. It was cute. Tourism was up. Homelessness now smells like piss on the street.
They've busted them in
Austin. Yeah,
at one point.
Exactly. So it's frustrating to me because I'm like, this is a beautiful state. This is a beautiful city. Do not ruin it with your bad policies. If you want to come to Texas and enjoy it, please do. I'm all for that. But do not bring your bad policies and do not vote in Democrats and come and ruin what we are trying to keep,
the
nice
oasis, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Exactly. That's the point that I'm at. Nothing against liberals. I'm a little bit liberal in some of my policies. But also, again, get out if you have bad policies. I'm sorry.
I've been hearing that a lot from like lifelong Texans, like this fear, this concern and anxiety that their state, that the state is going to get all fucked up.
Girl, it's already so purple. Look at our last Senate race between Beto and Ted Cruz. Ted Cruz won by a very, very slim percentage. Very slim percentage. And a lot of liberals are moving to Texas right now because Google has moved over here, Tesla has moved over here. And why is that? Because like we were just talking about, the tax cuts for the businesses here in Texas to incentivize people to come over here to create jobs is so much better than it is in California. And with these big tech companies and all these liberal companies comes all of their liberal employees as well. So, oh girl, RIP to Texas. We'll see what happens within the next decade, but I'm kind of concerned.
It's a lot. It's a lot to make you upset over and frustrated. And it's like, you have to keep it light too. And I don't know.
I know, Chrissy, crack a joke. I've been such a dark cloud today. Damn, I'm sorry. I'm like, let's chill here for a second. You mentioned Nicki Minaj, and I'm like, but let me tell you about how Texas is going to be ruined.
You know what? I would have respected AOC if she showed up to the Met Gala, but didn't go inside and was like protesting outside.
Same. I'm all about the protest.
Even if she wore that same gown, but was like, I'm gonna wear this outside the Met Gala with us. She could gather a crowd. She could protest outside the Met Gala. Even in that dress, I would be like, okay, cool. You went out, acquired your own dress.
That's my thing. I'm like, hey, AOC, I always respect a good protest. And like I said, too, I know my previous statement right now was very attack on the libs type thing. But, whether you're left or right, if you do have a solid protest, I respect that. Like, go have your voice heard. But don't go rub noses with the people that you're allegedly protesting. Come on, bro.
It's so inauthentic.